All right, hi everyone. In this video today, we're going to talk about a recent upload from Damian Keyes where he talks about AI music and I think has some interesting takes, but some points where I also beg to differ. So let's get into it.
In the physical era, when it was vinyl, cassettes, CDs, they invested tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars into one version of a song, which then they would promote. Now that version was what got played on radio, what got pushed to MTV, what got stocked in Tower Records, what got uploaded to iTunes, and now it's what gets playlisted on Spotify. Now, because it costs so much to make and promote...
So right away, I think he's talking from the perspective of the major record labels. Unless you're a musician who wakes up in the morning and says, I just hope that I get playlisted on Spotify. If that's your one goal as a musician. So I think from the major record labels, that is one of their primary concerns when it comes to getting their music online. But I actually think he's talking to musicians as a whole, which I think is something of a concern. But let's see where he goes from here.
You didn't make 12 versions. You made one. And then you bet the house on it. But that era is dead. You see, the internet changed music distribution, but not the mindset. Even with digital tools and streaming, the system still pushes one song, one upload, one campaign. Maybe you do a remix, maybe you do an acoustic version, but those are extras. The main version is still the king. But now we have AI, the whole structure collapses. When you don't need a record label, you don't need a studio, you don't even need a final version. So therefore, what the hell is a song anymore? Because for the last 100 years, we've built the music industry around one idea, which is that a song is the finished thing, a complete product. It has a start, it has a middle, and it has an end. It has one tempo, it has one genre, it has one mix, it has one meaning. But that's not true anymore. You see, let me explain. In a world of...
So right away, there's a bunch of ideas. He's saying a song doesn't need to be finished, like before it had to be finished, now it doesn't need to be finished. That could be interesting. That it was all around one song and all this energy and resources went into one song, and now that's going away. So let's see how he continues this.
AI, a song is no longer the final version. It's the prototype. It's a jumping off point. It's a starting point that can explode into 100 or even 1,000 unique versions. So let's break that down. You write a song once, but AI generates maybe a Beatles-style version with sitars and tape saturation with Abbey Road reverb.
There was like one Beatles song with a sitar, by the way, but I'll forgive him for that.
Or an acoustic campfire version with stripped-back guitars and soft harmonies, or a metal version with double kick pedal, distorted guitars and breakdowns, a dance anthem with sidechains and synths and club drops and extended choruses, or a pop-punk version that sounds like 2004 at the Warped Tour. But it doesn't even stop with styles and genres. It rewrites the content too. You can have a version with the same chords but completely different lyrics.
It rewrites, it can do these things. So, well, when you ask AI to make a version that sounds like 2004 on the Warped Tour, how do you think it gets the data to sound like 2004 on the Warped Tour? It scraped, without permission, as far as we can tell, that data and is now feeding it back to you in some way. So right away, he's going into a direction about taking a song, using a lot of other people's intellectual property, and then transforming your song into hundreds or even what he says thousands of different pieces. Let's see what he says about this.
You can have a version where the storyline changes, or we can have the same song with 5 different narratives. A version with your vocals in English, in Spanish, in Japanese, in Korean. We can have a version slowed down for 60 BPM because TikTok values emotion. A 3-minute streaming edit, a 7-minute live mix, an instrumental, a lo-fi YouTube loop. You can see that we can just go on forever. Now imagine this. Instead of releasing one song a month, you release a new version of the same song every single day for free.
Why? Why? So, okay, I'm imagining that I'm releasing a new version of a song that I made every single day for free. Like, assuming, putting aside the amount of work that would require, let's say I automated all of that. Why? Let's see what he says about this.
Day 1, original. Day 2, acoustic. Day 3, EDM remix. Day 4, ballad version. Day 5, fan personalized version.
I think I see where he's going. So, like, let's say I'm an Americana artist, which that's part of what I do, but just as any example. I'm an Americana artist. I'm a singer-songwriter. I can put my version out as an EDM version. I happen to do EDM music too, but set that aside for a moment. But as a singer-songwriter, as an Americana artist, I wanted it to sound like Americana. And he's saying, no. Put it out as an EDM version, as a lo-fi version, as a version that sounds like the Beatles made it, and so on. And this is something he's suggesting, I suppose, as a potential strategy. Let's see what he says about it.
Version with custom names in the chorus. Day 6, short form TikTok edit. Day 7, orchestral film score version. It's no longer about which version you like or want to make. You just dream it. It's about which version your audience responds to. You're not picking the hit. They are.
Okay. This is really important. It's no longer artists. He's talking to music artists. It's no longer what version you want to make. Forget about that. It's what your audience most responds to, what's most monetizable, what's most playlistable. That's the new game to be played. Sounds pretty far-fetched, but let's see. Does he say this is something that you should think about, or this is what people should be doing now?
This is the ultimate A/B testing for art and defining music.
Okay, so it's A/B testing. So A/B testing means, for those of you not familiar with the marketing terminology, is you put out, for example, 2 different email messages in a mass email campaign, or 2 different Facebook posts, and you see which one performs better, and then you put more money or resources behind the one that performs better. So Damian Keyes apparently views putting out your music as to see, well, which one just performs better. And if you're, again, to use the example, an Americana artist, but you put out like an EDM version, or even a classical orchestral version, or even a TikTok optimized version, which means it's all of 3 seconds long and really optimized for that 3-second mark, because we all know you can fit your song into exactly 3 seconds of the attention span of the typical millennial or Gen Zer. You can now A/B test it and see which one performs better. And so why not just put them all out? Why not put 1,000 versions of that one song you wrote out, one a day for 3 years? I think that's what I think I'm saying more or less what he's saying.
This is how Spotify will tell you which version streams best. TikTok will show you which edit goes viral. AI will watch the data and evolve your content for you. So back to the question.
Great.
It's 2025. What is a song in 2025? Now here's the gold. The biggest tidal wave coming is not 5 years away. And everyone keeps saying, a couple of years, and 2 years, and 5. It's now. This is hitting now. You have 2 choices. Die on the hill of what you believe art is, or should be, or you use this opportunity to get ahead. This is where creativity...
Whoa, Mr. Damian Keyes. Die on the hill, he says, of what you think art should be or is... That's the option 1. He says he has exactly 2 options. That's 1. Or get hit by this tidal wave that's coming anyway, which according to him is you making one song and putting out 1,000 versions of it to see which one performs better on Spotify. This makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Let's see what he continues to say about this.
He is right now in concepts and delivery. And you can try and fight that tidal wave, but surely the best thing to do is recognize it and start building your boat. I know this is a crazy idea that music used to be the end point and is now the jumping off point, but if you think about it, you can make anything for free in seconds. So therefore, not just music promotion and the music industry changes, but music by its very definition just changed. Let me know what you think in the comments below.
Well, I'll let you know what I think in this video right here. And I have a few thoughts. as you can imagine. So forget what you want to do as an artist, what you feel is important, the kind of genre that you do. No. Your game right now in 2025, according to Damian Keyes, is to see this tidal wave, as he puts it, coming, this tidal wave of being able to make a lot of fake, did I say fake? AI-generated music that's not from you, but that's using your source material in some way and reconstruing it via a prompt. Someone else could do a prompt and just take your music and do it too. In fact, that's happening quite a bit. It's not even you. It's just a computer. Just tell the computer, hey, make it sound like me and make 1,000 versions. You don't even have to make music anymore. This tidal wave is so great, folks. You don't even have to make music anymore. You can just, it doesn't have to be a complete song. It's just too much resources. I mean, an intro, a chorus, a verse. I mean, multiple instruments. Can you imagine? Having to pick samples off of GarageBand and Logic Pro? Having to call your friend up to lay a bass line down? No. Just make a very rough version, upload it to some AI system, do 1,000 versions. Has nothing to do with what you think you want to do. And moreover, you have two choices. Remember the two choices. The two choices are what you think art should be and is, or what he calls a new definition of music that happened, according to him, just now, as he was stating it. Well, here's the thing, Damian, and everyone. You can't change the definition of something just now, just like that, because some new technology came around, or some new propensity came around, or some new app came around, or something like that. That's not how definitions change. Now, you can do new things, perhaps when a new app comes around, a new technology comes around. But the definition of music was never how many playlists could I get in on Spotify, or how many streams could I get in on Spotify. Just like in 1999, it wasn't how many CDs I could print. That wasn't the definition of music. It wasn't the definition of music. That was the distribution mechanism which existed at the time, happened to be more favorable than the one that exists now, where you get practically nothing for streaming. So I would even question that. Okay, so you succeed in streaming would be his goal by making 1,000 versions of one idea, putting it out every day. You could sit back for 3 years and put one song out every day of music that has nothing to do with you, but was you messing around on your voice memos. Maybe one of them gets playlisted. Maybe one of them gets thousands of streams and you get $4. What? No, you didn't change the definition of music, and definition of music didn't change. You said you could use AI to make a bunch of different versions of music by stealing a bunch of other people's music and reconfiguring it via AI algorithms to pump out new so-called music. And that's where actually the definition of music might have changed. He might be right about that point, but not for the reason he thinks. Because when music is conglomerated from the vast sources of AI data sources and pumped out as something new, and you put someone's name on it or a fake AI artist's name on it, and you call it music, remember the thing that doesn't have a definitional change just by the snap of a fingers, the thing that existed for many thousands of years, and in a written, rigorous form for about 1,000 years. In the Western canon, much longer in other cultures, of course. And now you're having these AI systems generate these pieces, and you're saying, well, that's music. Yes, it's music if you remove every plank of what music was, practically, and still say it's music. So we'll get into that in another video, or it's something just to consider. But back to his point, the hill you're going to die on. Well, I'll tell you the hill I'm going to die on. The hill I'm going to die on is, making the kind of music I want to make, not making 1,000 or 10,000 versions that appropriate everyone else's music and then pumps it out as some version that I've never even heard, but gets a few, listens by some bot on Spotify. Is that the hill you're going to die on, Damian Keyes? Because you can A/B test your music, the song that you wanted to make and the style that you wanted to make versus the style that AI said, you know what, this is going to get a few more plays on Spotify? Is that the hill you want to? Okay, I guess we got two different hills we're going to die on. And from my hill, I will tell everyone, no, make the music you want to make according to you as an artist. Even if some other style might get you a few more likes on Spotify. First of all, you should do that on principle. You should do that on principle. You should make the kind of art you want to make. Secondarily, your audience will appreciate it more because they'll sense it's actually coming from you. And if your audience is small, so be it. So be it. You want to get 100,000 clicks on Spotify and get $12? Like, what does that do for you? What does that do for you? You know? No, how about make the art you want to make and then see what happens? And by the way, people will respond to it much, much more than the EDM version of your blues song. Or the Beatles version of your jazz song or whatever, you know? The definition of music did not change. What changed is how people are treating themselves as artists, apparently. How people are valuing their own art, apparently. And if you're busy running with the stream of, oh, this is going to make you $1 or something with your audio recordings, and not what you want to do as an artist, that went away with, CDs and vinyl, You're not making money on Spotify. You might be making money doing live shows with your merch. Probably you're just doing it as a personal hobby because it's your passion. People are leaving Spotify in droves who are looking for other distribution mechanisms. So no, I would not sacrifice your entire artistic endeavor to A/B test some stuff on a playlist. I gotta say, I think it's misguided. So I'll build my boat and I'll just go away from the tidal wave.